less than 2%, 2% being on a good day of all philanthropy going to women and girls is just shocking in itself. And when I've repeated that, and I repeat it often, because this whole project has really blown my socks off. So, and it's motivating, but it's hard to imagine that it's actually true. But when I've spoken to friends, let's say, that are deeply involved in philanthropy, when I've said that statistic, they go back and gone back to look and say, well, where are our grants going? Where is our philanthropy going? They found a majority to boys and men, interestingly. And the answer for why is, well, the girls are better at applying for other scholarships. Yeah, but the thing is the boys seem to be somehow being highlighted more. I don't know how that is, but just having it be data driven the way you are doing it, and in partnership with some of these great organizations like Gates, who is actually doing the data and all the research.
And
Really
Lilly
helps.
Family School of Philanthropy at University of Indiana has been another partner, and they've been a big, very helpful in terms of providing data. And they also work with Gates. So a lot of these silos do communicate with each other and support each other and help. It's shocking. I mean, look, statistics are complicated, and you could break them down different ways. You know that as an academic, and it's tricky, right? It's less than 2% of all philanthropic dollars go to organizations that primarily focus on women and girls. So, which means that 80% or more of their resources go towards women and girls. The fact of the matter is, if you read, there was a really good piece in The Guardian several months back that really talked about how not a single there's not gender equality in a single country on earth. And the fact that we are so excited, some of us, about the prospect of having a woman president in this country, that with all of the amazing American women who we know, we've not had a woman leader in this country. I mean, many countries have, many, right? Including countries that we don't think of as progressive as we think of our own. And yet we've never had a woman leader. And I am just such a strong believer that people need to be at the table representing their different needs, their different values, their different points of view. And it can't just be set dressing. And I mean that in terms of DEI. I mean that in terms of getting women at the table. It's like we all need to come to understand the value that is derived for all of us when we have a diversity of perspectives. Because in the end, most of us don't want to live under the rules of either extreme, right? And extremes are fine in shaping a conversation. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, what is the most productive and healthy is to have compromises in which we all can see pieces of ourselves, that everyone sees their own needs reflected in those compromises. Maybe not 100%, right? Because it's like, just from being in a family, if one person always gets their way, you have all the other people are unhappy, right? So it's like we have to, sometimes you win a little more than I do, sometimes I win a little. But it's that process of talking things through and understanding why something is so meaningful to you and why something is so meaningful to me that really gets us to a better place. I think that's why some people say, like, people who are married or in long-term relationships end up evolving more as humans, because you have to listen to something other than yourself, right? You have to break out of that algorithm that we all now in a bigger way find ourselves in online, which is just infinite mirrors of ourselves. And that is not, in the end, it's not interesting. And it's also not helpful. And so I think, and it just allows us to entrench further and further in believing that we're right. And I think being right is overrated.